Hi Scorpio, welcome to your February 2018 tarot forecast. I am, if you can't tell, I am feeling a little bit under the weather today, which is why I'm a little more soft-spoken. And I wasn't sure whether or not I really wanted to do readings today. Because, I do try to be in the best shape I can be when I'm doing readings, right? Because I want to be there to channel the energy as well as I can. But I did want to do the water readings today because I noticed that I find it generally kind of hard to connect with the water energy. I'm a very airy, very fiery kind of person. There's a lot of air and fire in my chart. Hardly any water at all. There's a little bit, but hardly any water at all. But I find myself, feeling a little bit under the weather and feeling a little bit more subdued. I find myself actually more in tune with that water energy, which is interesting. So I'm doing it today. I'm doing it for y'all today. Pardon me. I apologize. So Scorpio, what are you going through? So I think I may have touched on this in last month's video for y'all. But you are all right now, for the next 9-ish months, you have Jupiter in your sign, which is fantastic. So it's a beautiful, positive, expansive energy. And being in your first house, it's really giving you an opportunity to reconceptualize what it means to be you, what it means to live your life in a very outward-oriented way. Okay, y'all can be a sign that tends to go a little bit more within, in part because you're a water sign and in part because y'all just have a dark side, as we all know. 9 of Cups, first card out. So this is a really exciting time. The next 9 to 10 months for Scorpios can be a really exciting time. What's going on with you in eclipse season with this eclipse that's happening, the solar eclipse happening in the middle of the month? There's a lot of energy around home, and that is a fairly loose terminology. So that could literally be your physical home. It could have to do with property. It could have to do with moving or selling your house or acquiring a new property, etc., etc. But it can also mean what you conceptualize on an intellectual and emotional level as home. So that could be your home of origin. That could be your family now. Whatever, that could be your country of origin, your state, your city of origin, anything that rings as home to you. King of Pentacles. And it's a good energy, Scorpio, before you get all dark on me. Because I see, this was at the bottom of the deck when I set it down. And let's calm down, Scorpio. I know y'all like to get deep and dark as quickly as possible. But this is actually a really good emphasis on home. This isn't like a negative. There might be some healing, certainly with an eclipse. There certainly might be some healing happening as a result of this eclipse energy in the area of your home, but it's not a negative energy. It's very much a positive, auspicious energy that will allow you to certainly heal, but also enhance your home, I think. That could be enhancing your relationships with the people in your family. That could be, like I said, you might be acquiring a new home. You might be selling your current home for more money than you thought you were going to get for it. Things like that. And already, so the first 2 cards down were the 9 of Cups and the King of Pentacles. A bunch of other stuff just fell out. Hold on. I just had the Magician come down. The reversed 2 of Wands. And the reverse 6 of Pentacles. So the first 2 cards down were the 9 of Cups and the King of Pentacles. So these are both very materially healthy, materially prosperous, materially positive cards. And they're also implying a sense of time commitment. Like these two people have gained their prosperity through years and years of work, okay? This dude's a 9, this dude's a king. All right, they are near the end of their suit. He's at the very end and he's getting close to the court cards. So these are people who've been putting in work for years and years and years. And so I feel with you right now, Scorpio, that you are going to get some dividends on things that you have been, whether they're investments or whether they're projects you've been putting in work into. You are going to get some real rad dividends coming out that will start to pay out in the month of February. Okay? And then like right after came the Magician. I mean, that's just straight up manifestation, I said, right? Right. And I think like the Magician also, what I was just saying, how I think, you know, stuff with your home is at the forefront right now, and that can mean things that are more emotional than they are material, even though with the 9 of Cups and the King of Pentacles down, I might not be saying that so strongly, but it certainly could apply to some of you. And like I said, this is not like a deep plunging the depths energy necessarily. Like this is a very outward focused energy. If you are undergoing healing of some kind of family trauma or some kind of trauma or some kind of something related to your home, it's not like you're going to be sitting in therapy crying all the time. Like this is a time for breakthroughs. All right. Like this is like you've spent your time crying in therapy and now you're this dude. Okay. And then we have the reverse 2 of Wands, followed by, you know what, this came out reverse, but I threw it down upright, and I'm going to read it upright, which is cheating probably, but I feel like that happened for a reason. So the reverse 2 of Wands and the 6 of Pentacles. Now the 2 of Wands, this in reverse, I think it can be a little bit of a warning, but you know, overall, this is a card of a dude who's looking out. I mean, talk about home. This dude's living in his beautiful home at the top of the hill, and he's looking at what he wants next. Which is interesting to me, this coming up in the reverse position, I would almost read this as a call to be more present in the context of these cards. A call for you to be more present in the here and now. You know? Because y'all, Scorpios, the Scorpios that I know at any rate, like y'all don't have a tendency, you're like the opposite of Aquarians. Aquarians who are all over my life, Jesus, I got Aquarians all over the place. Aquarians have a tendency to live in the future, always. You can't ever like bring them back to reality because they're so far out in the future that may or may never exist that they're really hard to tether down in any way. And Scorpios almost have the opposite problem. They tend to live in the past. Every hurt, every situation, every loss, like y'all just, you create a little room in your mind where you put all of these pictures and pieces of artwork that are just dedicated to all of the things that have happened in your life. And even when they're not negative things, which for y'all they tend to be, for y'all, not that bad things tend to happen to you, but you tend to hold on to bad things. So in that way, bad things might tend to happen to you because we attract what we hold on to, right? But even the things that are positive, you hold on to them in such a covetous way that they end up becoming really ugly because you don't want to let them go. And so it creates this attitude and this power of lack and neediness that is not good for manifestation. So I see this guy as kind of like this being a warning, like don't get stuck in that. Because y'all really can, you have a propensity for that. You really do. Also, the 6 of Pentacles came out. You know, there is a sense of, I actually think this is a very imbalanced card. People talk about the scales as this being balanced. I always read this card as imbalance because, look, I mean, the Pentacles are thrown off. It's not a balanced card. And I think the scales do imply justice or fairness, I should say. I don't think they're always the same. I don't think they always mean the same thing. Coming down, as I said before, like through very material means. So as I was talking with the Nine of Cups and the King of Pentacles, how there's a sense here that you're getting a payout for something that is years and years in the making. I think this payout is going to help balance the scales where you were once, or maybe for years and years, you were kind of feeling like you were at the short end of a stick, not getting what you deserved, particularly as it applied to material things. And there's a sense here that now that is being righted. I'm wondering if you're going, like, I am wondering if inheritance is in here for some of you. And if that's what part of this, the home piece is. So whether you're coming into property that someone left for you, or money that someone left for you, or you're selling a family home and getting some money out of that. But something from the past that is now creating positive material energy flow for you. That's a big thing here in February. Let's pull some more cards, shall we? And this is great because, like I said, you know, the next 9 to 10 months, you're really kind of, with Jupiter hanging out in your first, you're really thinking about, or not even thinking about, but living through a new you, like feeling your way through what it means to be you moving forward. And having this kind of energy at the beginning of the year is really nice because you, as I said, y'all have a tendency to hold on to things. If you can hold on to this, if you can galvanize that power and you can hold on to things in such a way that you're holding on to positive things in a positive way, not in like, I need to hoard this way, but in a like, oh, this is great and I have it and I'm honoring it and I'm looking at it and thank you so much. You're only going to attract more of that into your life. And as you do that with a Jupiter transit in your first, you're going to literally integrate that into your perception of what it means to be you and into the universe's reaction to you. Does that make sense? I'm looking all over the place. Sorry, I don't know where my camera is. Hi, Ace of Wands. Manifestation, prosperity. I mean, word. I don't really have anything to add except word. But let's pull a few more. So far, really good reading. Lots of yellow. I mean, just lots of like positive energy for y'all right now, Scorpio. And that's good because y'all need the light. Y'all really do need the light. And make sure that you're in touch with that light. You know, like I said, you are a shadowy sign. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're dark and gloomy, but it means that you are in touch with the more subconscious pieces of your mind to the point that they can kind of run your life. So subconscious doesn't necessarily mean bad. Oh my God, these are great cards. The Fool and the Queen of Pentacles, and I might call it there. You know, subconscious doesn't necessarily need to be a bad thing. I think we tend to associate that with negativity because it tends to be what we want to repress. And we tend to think of repressed behaviors, thoughts, emotions as negative things. And that's why we repress them in the first place. But that's not necessarily the case. You can just as easily, depending on your upbringing, depending on what you've been through, depending on what was valued in your family and your culture, you can just as easily repress things that are actually really, really beautiful. Maybe you repress your ability to emote to other people. Maybe you repress your ability to love freely, you know, whatever that is. So it doesn't, you know, the dark shadow side that y'all have, it doesn't necessarily have to be ugly and nasty and gross, right? It could actually be full of a lot of really beautiful things that you never let into the light. And I think like that is usually the case for Scorpios. You know, those Scorpios who have that reputation of being, I mean, y'all have a reputation. I talked about this before. I'll probably talk about it again because I also, as a Gemini, we have a very similar reputation. A lot of people do not like us. And it's because of this almost dual personality that people think we have. It's not that we're dual, it's just that we feel things more differently. So that manifests in a different way for Geminis than for Scorpios. I won't get into that really because you're not a Gemini. But, you know, for y'all, like I said, it's just all of the things that you don't let flourish. And depending on what those things are, will result in what kind of Scorpio you are. Whether you're the kind of Scorpio that's going to kill somebody in their sleep, or whether you're the kind of Scorpio who, you know, expresses your shadow side in a more healthy way. you know, like artwork or whatever it is. Like I was saying in the last video I did for y'all, like one of my very dearest friends is a Scorpio who is an amazing artist, but she's also, as I think I worded it in that video, a freak nasty bitch. You know, like whatever it is, you know, if you do it through weird sex stuff, like I don't, you know, just let it out. You need to let it out. Let's get into these last two cards. Queen of Pentacles and the Fool. This is such a nice reading for you, Scorpio. Again, just fucking prosperity. The Queen down with the King of Pentacles. Also beautiful, harmonious energy, right? The masculine and the feminine coming together. I like these two being out like this. I definitely think it can represent that union that I was just talking about of the light and the dark. There's so much, like, look at all the yellow in these cards. If I had a better camera, I would just angle it down, but I'm going to bring it all up to you. Bam, 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 bam. I mean, like, this is such a light spread. And so all that to say, you know, things, you are being called to bring things to the light right now, Scorpio, to great effect. You know, this is not the kind of like plunging of the depths that, like I said, this is closure. It's closure. It's breakthroughs. It's breakthroughs that lead to abundance. Abundance. A fucking abundance. Like everywhere in this reading. And not only will it bring you abundance, Scorpio, it's going to leave you fresh as fuck. Like you are about to walk off this beautiful cliff into the unknown, and it's not a negative unknown. Now, like I said, y'all tend to live in the past, so sometimes you don't want to be this guy. Like some of y'all might have just looked at this and had a little panic attack. Understand, like the Fool energy, the most important thing about the Fool is that he is divinely protected. Okay, like he's divinely protected. He's not worried about jumping off this cliff because the universe isn't actually gonna let him splatter on the rocks below. And it's never gonna let you splatter on the rocks below either. It's just going to let you fall as far as you need to go or rise as far as you need to go to learn your next lesson. So this is a beautiful energy. You're walking into a new phase of your life. Scorpio, for real. Like you are walking into a new, very beautiful, very light phase of your life. Something else to note, and I'm bringing this up because I also have the 8 of Cups hanging out at the bottom of the deck right now, leaving things behind. The Fool has just a knapsack. That's all he has. That's all he's bringing with him into his new life. And this person has a stick. Boo, they got a stick and a cape. That's all they have. So there's a lot of opportunity here, Scorpio, for you to move into a fantastic place in your life, materially and emotionally. I mean, like there's not a lot of water down. And I mean, there's no water down really, not counting that 8 of Cups. Oh, and I forgot the 9 of Cups is there too. But this is still, like the fact that there's not a ton of water down to me implies that like you are kind of detaching from that very dark, stormy kind of Scorpio energy, and you're moving more towards the physical realm, the here, the now, perchance the future, God forbid, right? So I mean, I don't even know what to say except like, great. This is going to be a great month for you, and I think it portends fantastic things for the year ahead, the 9 months ahead. Just, you know, just don't be afraid to walk away. The Scorpio tendency to hang on to the past is something that, having been raised by Scorpios, a Scorpio and a Cancer, God for fucking bit. Like, the inability to walk away from the past is something that I think all water signs struggle with, but Scorpios in particular, because y'all have your own knapsack that you carry with you, and you fill it with just trash. You fill it with all of the hurts and all of the pains and all of the wrongs that are done to you. But I am seeing a fundamental shift in this energy for y'all in February 2018, probably right as soon as the eclipse hits on the 15th, which will probably be the day that I upload this video or the day before. So from here on out, it's looking really good for you. Detach from things with love and you will be prosperous. that's it, Scorpio. This is fantastic. All right, I'm gonna go. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. As always, there's information in the description box if you're interested in a private reading with me. Thank you so much for your support. Until next time, bye.